Welcome to Algeomulus Prep Academy. Today we are going to be learning about the law of sines. The law of sines works for finding any side or angle measure of a triangle given you have two sides and an angle or two angles and a side. The formula for the law of sines is sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. Or you could also write it as A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. For our first example, we're going to be using the law of sines to solve for a side length, in this case x. When we plug in the respective values into the formula A over sine A equals B over sine B, we will get x divided by the sine of 67 degrees is equal to 7 divided by the sine of 54 degrees. By cross-multiplying x and the sine of 54 degrees and sine of 67 degrees and 7, we will get x times the sine of 54 degrees equals 7 times the sine of 67 degrees. Next, we isolate x by dividing both sides by the sine of 54 degrees. This gives us an x value of 7 times the sine of 67 degrees divided by the sine of 54 degrees, which is approximately 7.96. This is our answer.
This problem is an example of the law of sines in which we solve for an angle. The length of side A is 30, and the length of side C is 40. Now we want to solve for the measure of angle C. Set up the formula. Sine of A over side A is equal to sine of C over side C. Next, input the values that we are given for triangle ABC. Sine of 40 degrees over 30 is equal to sine of C over 40. Next, multiply both sides by 40. So you get sine of C is equal to 40 times the sine of 40 divided by 30. Then, to isolate the measure of angle C, take the inverse sine of both sides. The measure of angle C is equal to the inverse sine of 40 times the sine of 40 divided by 30. The measure of angle C is approximately 58.987 degrees.
So for this problem, we are going to be looking for angle ABD, but in order to find this angle, we have to find side length x. So the first thing we do is set up the initial law of sines, which is x over sine of 36 degrees is equal to 33 meters over sine of 110 degrees. So in order to get x all by itself on the left side, we multiply both sides by the sine of 36 degrees to get x is equal to 33 meters times sine of 36 degrees over the sine of 110 degrees. Put this into your calculator and you will get x is equal to 20.6418 meters. Now that we have side length x, we can use the law of sines in order to find the angle of ABD. So we set up the proportion to be sine of angle ABD over 20 meters is equal to sine of 80 degrees over 20.6418 meters. Now to get sine of angle ABD all by itself on the left side, we multiply both sides by 20 meters to get sine of angle ABD is equal to 20 meters times sine of 80 degrees over 20.6418. Now in order to get angle ABD, we take the inverse sine of both sides, and this gives us angle ABD is equal to the inverse sine of 20 meters times sine of 80 degrees over 20.6418. Put this into your calculator and you will get angle ABD is equal to 72.59 degrees.
That concludes our lesson on the law of sines. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Algeomulus Prep Academy.